Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Guess what guys, it's 2022. Happy New Year's. This is my first video of the new year. So, as we're coming into this new year, I wanted to share a recipe that my mom would make for us when we were little. It's called Calabasas in Spanish, but in English it's like a zucchini type soup type of recipe. It has a lot of healthy ingredients, but that doesn't take the flavor or the deliciousness out of this recipe. So come on in so I can show you what you're going to be needing for this recipe. I need 2 large garlic cloves or 4 small ones because these are like really big. Here I have 3 Italian squashes, 1 jalapeno, 3 tomatoes, 2 large ones and 1 small one, or you can have 4 small ones. I'm going to be using about half of this large onion or 1 small onion, a bay leaf. I have about 8 cups of water, 2 8-ounce cans of tomato sauce or 1 large 16-ounce can. I have 1 pound of white sweet corn. I have 2 tablespoons of avocado oil, along with 2 teaspoons of oregano and 1 teaspoon of pepper. And you're also going to be needing dry chicken stock or caldo de pollo. And I'm not quite sure how much I'm going to be using, but I'll let you guys know in the description down below exactly how much I used of all of these ingredients. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your zucchini, and I just cut the ends off of each one like that. And then what I do is I do it like my mom would always do it. She cut it in half and then she would slice down to kind of get like half moons. But it kind of depends on you on if you want them bigger or smaller. You can make them to your preference, but I always do it like my mom would do it because she always cut it this way as well. And then you just keep slicing them. And you want to make sure you have them like the same thickness. And then I'm just going to finish cutting up the rest of the zucchini like this. And now I'm going to cut the tomatoes. I'm going to do the same thing. Just cut off the end, place it to the side. But with the tomatoes and my zucchini, I kind of want them the same size. So I'm just going to cut them in half, just like this. And then I'm going to slice it down. I usually do it in 4s, like this. So what you can do with your half is you can cut it in half. And then cut that half down the middle in half as well. And then I do the same thing, because I like to have them all the same size. You see? Just like that. As simple as that. Guys, this is a simple dish, but it's a delicious and healthy dish for you because you got all of the veggies going in your dish. And that's the nice thing about this dish. Something that reminds you of your childhood. Well, at least me. It reminds me of my childhood. I used to love when my mom made calabasas. My mom has always used the Italian calabasas. She liked to use those ones instead of the Mexican calabasas because they give off a less bitter flavor when you're cooking the dish. So I noticed the difference as well. But if you guys have Mexican calabasas or Mexican squash, you guys can use that. Utilize what you have in your home, but I'm just doing it the way that I was taught. But you guys have to do what's best for your home and your family. Now I'm going to take the onion. Again, I'm going to cut off both ends of my onion. This is how I always cut my onions. And then I slice a piece on the side of the onion, and then I just peel it and throw the rest away. So I'm going to be doing about half of this onion. So I'm going to slice that in half, place that to the side. You can do the whole onion, you can do half. Just depends on you. Whatever you guys like. See, and I just make them kind of big too, just in case someone doesn't like the onions, they can pick them out. You know what, guys? I'm just going to utilize the whole onion. I usually don't measure when I'm cooking calabasas or things like that, but I'll leave the measurements in the description for you guys that need or want measurements. So I'm just going to utilize the whole thing. I was looking at my ratio and like, hey, I'm just not going to waste it. I'm just going to throw it in. And the jalapeno, it's your choice whether you want to cut it up, but I usually don't cut it up. I leave it in whole. That way it gets the flavor throughout. It gets the heat. But if you have people that can't eat heat in your family, they can just pull it out and not have to worry about eating a piece of jalapeno. So I just throw the whole thing in there. So now I have my bowl of my goodies. I'm going to place that to the side. That's because I'm going to smash my garlic a little bit in my molcajete. Now if you don't have a molcajete, you can just use a garlic smasher. Some people don't like the smell of garlic, but I love the smell of garlic. Maybe because I grew up with my mom and dad always cooking with a lot of garlic and flavor in their food, so I'm just used to it. Now I'm going to put my pan on to like a medium high, so my pan can get warmed up. And while it's doing that, I'm going to place my 2 tablespoons of avocado oil in there. You can use any oil as long as it's a flavorless oil, like canola, avocado, things like that. You don't want something like olive oil because it'll give it a different flavor. So I'm going to wait for it to heat up a little bit, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next. Alrighty, now that we got it nice and hot, at this point, I like to dump everything in and just be careful. I'm also going to be adding my garlic at this time. Scrape out all of that and get all your goodness in there. Your yummy goodness. You want to get that flavor. And just mix it around. See, and you're just going to want to cook it and make sure all of it gets a little soft and you get all those flavors through. And once I get it at that stage, I'll show you exactly how you're going to want it before you do your next step. See all those juices coming out from the liquids from your veggies? Yummy. How many of you guys had your mom make these for you? Or what's one of your favorite dishes? My mom was a very good mom and still is a good mom. She would always make us homemade food, and even though we didn't have a lot of money, she always made the best meals. we never knew we didn't have a lot of money. That was a blessing, because she always made sure we were fed delicious food. So now I'm gonna add all of my frozen corn in here. You guys can use fresh corn or frozen corn, but this is was 1 pound of frozen corn, and I just mix it through, because see how the color is changing on your zucchinis? That's how you're gonna want them when you add your corn. Now at this point, I'm also going to add my tomato sauces. Now I like to take some of that water and put a little bit in here. Don't do what I did, spill it everywhere, to get all of the sauce out of there. Now, like I said, I'm probably not going to use all of this water because I have a lot of liquid in there. I'll let you know exactly in the description how much water I'm going to use. So I used about 5 cups of water, and then you just want to stir it through. And this is the part you're going to want to put your bay leaf in, and also your oregano, your pepper, and I'm also going to be adding the dry chicken stock, and I'm going to taste this. So I have 1 tablespoon in there right now. And I think I'm going to add about a half a tablespoon more, and then I'm going to taste it again. So it's going to be 1.5 to 2 tablespoons of the dried chicken stock. This just depends on how you like it as your family. So this is all going to depend on you and your family and what you guys like. What's nice about this dish is that it's so versatile. You can add chicken, you can add ground turkey. I've done ground turkey, chicken, different things to this dish, and you can make it just like a all one pot meal. If you're going to add meat with this, I would advise you to cook the meat first in this pan, then take it out, do everything like I showed you how, and then just place it in when you add your liquids. That way it can all simmer and cook together. I like to let it simmer and get all those flavors combine and incorporate it. Plus, I like my calabasas soft and tender and all my vegetables in there. So once it gets to that, I'll let you see. And while this is boiling, you can make some steamed rice or Mexican rice if you like. But I think today I'm going to make some steamed rice with this. So now at this point, see how your calabasas, I took one out. They're nice and soft and tender. That's when you're going to want to shut it off and let it sit and cool for a minute. Another thing I forgot to tell you that I did, or I like to do, is I like to poke holes in my jalapeno so it can get all the flavor in there. But also, if you want, you can cut the top off. That's another thing I do, so you don't have to poke holes in it. But if you keep the top on it, make sure you poke holes in it so you can get all that flavor in while it's boiling and cooking. Now I'm going to turn it off and wait for my rice, and then I'll serve it and eat it for you. So I put some rice in a bowl, and now see how nice and moist everything is. I mean, tender. And I'm just going to pour it over my bowl. I like the juice. I like to get the juice. Now, if you want, it's optional. I have shredded cheese right here. My mom used to always put cheese in our calabasas, but it's up to you. I put it on the side, so in case if you want it, I'll put a little bit of cheese on top, and then I'll taste it for you guys. You could see the steam on there. See guys, this is a nice warm and toasty meal. It's so good, especially when you guys add the rice to it. It gives it a little, you know, carbs in there, and then you can see the cheese. See that cheese coming out? Calabasas are so tender, and all the flavors with the garlic and all the other vegetables in there, so good. You gotta try. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button for more of these videos. Have a beautiful, blessed day. Always remember to be kind to one another and just be a blessing. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye! Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more of these videos.